As someone who plays a lot of VRChat, I decided I wanted to try and make my own homeworld. There's only one problem with that. I don't know what I'm doing, and I don't know where to start. So we're gonna figure this out. Nothing is working. I don't know how I do anything. I know I've never used Unity before. Maybe I should have like watched a Unity tutorial. I think one main issue I'm going to have here is I don't know how big to make everything. Project's not installed. I thought it was supposed to install Unity for me. Nothing is working. It's just not working. We're going to have to do this all manually, step by step, following it without clicking on a single button, which is going to suck. Wait, back. What version? 22.3.22f. I had to download it from the website. I can't even download it from there. It's doing it on its own now. Did I just not have... Is it because I didn't have Unity Hub installed? Is that why? So I've done a bit of like researching whilst I'm waiting for it to install. I found out that one Unity unit is equal to 1 meter, which is what the game uses. I don't know what that means, but I guess if I make everything based off of Unity units, whatever that is, or a meter long, I don't really know, then everything should match up right. Like if I base it off of that sizing, I guess, I can obviously scale everything down if I have to and scale it up if I have to. So we're now loaded into Unity. If I'm being honest, I don't know what to do. I don't know how I add things. I don't know how I do anything. So we're gonna go 200 by 200. That's what I want. I know I've never used Unity before. Maybe I should have like watched a Unity tutorial before starting this project. Would have been a good idea. Have I? No. Let's look for like a cabin. Interior doesn't necessarily matter. Yeah, I want to keep it low poly. We don't even need a house or a cabin. We can go for like a tent. Materials, simple nature. There we go. Oh, so it just knows. That's cool. We're at a very good starting point, I'd say. So I've done a little bit of tweaking on the VRChat world because I realized the way I was doing it wasn't good. And I wanted like an island surrounded by water. Then that's how you're kind of trapped into the area. It's just water. If you drop in, then you'll respawn. So this is what I've cut. There's not a whole lot at the moment. You got a little fire going on over here. There's a bridge here that might be too big. Yeah, I've got to make this guy a little smaller, I think. Actually, no, I think that'll be okay. I quite like it being that size. It was too big a minute ago. I had it twice as big. At that size, I think that's okay. Just got to add trees, obviously the water itself. I'm quite happy with how it's turning out. I'm actually really happy with that. Okay, so I found this plague doctor that comes with a lantern. Yoink the lantern out of it, and hopefully that'll work. I know that doesn't necessarily look accurate because of how much it's glowing, but I've now added these extra seats. Each log now has 3 seats. We've got a pool table. Obviously, this is the home world, so I want it to be as full of stuff as everything that I would need for just chilling. The other island now with some like little particles flying through the sky. They're like fireflies in a way. We got these beanbags. Okay, I've now added audio to it. Like just some ambient water noise. Alright, so I think I've gotten into a place where I would like to have it as my home world from now on. So we've got clouds, we've got the campfire, the pool table, all of this here. A little cinema, that little area. Obviously nothing else has changed since I showed you other than really the clouds. I'm okay with updating it on the fly, if that makes sense. Like I can have this as my home world now and then just update it to add things and then add the trees at some point. So we're now in VR and I'm going to see if I can find the world and we're going to explore it. Let's do this. This is my current home world. It's a white padded cell, as you can see. Here it is. It's only on PC. I need to make it Quest compatible because I do want it to be Quest compatible. God, it's so weird because I was literally just making this on a computer. Oh, I want to add a fire crackle to this bit. This needs a fire crackle. You can play pool, as everyone would love to. I mean, I do like playing pool in VR. I find that this is a very fun thing to do. It's a little quiet, but it works. You know? And that's what matters. I'm just glad that that works. I'm quite pleased with how this looks. I never fixed that lantern that's on its side up there, did I? Nope. What's coming along really nicely, but one thing I've noticed is the lag, and I think that's partially due to the particle emitters. Obviously we've got one here, volumetric fog. We have 3. Obviously we've got these little orbs floating around, that's 1. We got the fog, that's another, and then this, the little sparkles here, is also another. So one thing I need to work on is getting the script to teleport you to the cave, which is this log here. When you walk into the log, you get teleported to the cave, and I'm going to, by default, have the particle emitters in the cave off. And then once you touch this log, it turns the particle emitters on locally, of course, and turns these ones off locally, just to save resources on the player's end, because even though though it's that far away, which is really far, it still affects performance in-game because it's still rendering it in, making obviously this unusable because that's loaded in, that's loaded in, that's loaded in. The waterfall's still loaded in because it's all in front of you. It's all still in view distance. So I'm going to figure out a way to get these gone. To get back to the main world, there is an invisible portal up here, and we have this one here, just a little nether portal. I'm going to put a collider in front of it, like just slightly in front here, so that when you touch it, it will re-enable the emitters up here and disable the emitters down there, and fingers crossed that should solve the problem. So I've changed the code slightly and fingers crossed it'll work. Basically, I've made it so that when I touch it, I've got like a list of objects that I can hide. So I'm hiding the fireflies that show up, the waterfall, and the volumetric fog on the separate island. So yeah, as you can see, this is really laggy, and I think it's because the cave's in view, so is the fog over there. So is a statue, which has got a lot of polygons. I'm getting 44 on desktop with a 4070 Ti. That's the current situation, which is pretty bad. But before I even go into the cave, I want to see if I can see the cave particles from here, which is important to test my idea. Because if I can't see it with the camera, then how am I going to know it works? So let's go into the cave, and that should have disabled all the particles over there, and I don't think it did. So something tells me I did not manage to hide it. Oh, I did. Interesting. I wonder what the performance is, because yeah, fog's gone, waterfall's gone, fireflies are gone. I wonder what's causing the performance hit then. A simple thing that I could do is change the fog from the cabin island over there to the entire island. So just drag that in, replace that one. And then I can also get rid of that island because neither of those are going to be visible. So now we're going to get rid of that bit of land and that bit of land completely, and that should help a lot. Oh yes. Oh, that's huge. And we were at 100 frames, not amazing by any means, but if I was running at 50 on this and 30 on the headset, I should be at least running at 60 on the headset now. So now I've just got to do it in reverse. So I need to have a script like that runs when you join the game. It is hiding the cave, and that should help a lot with the lag. Okay, so I've now gone and modified it a bit to allow for objects to be hidden by default and to be shown. So obviously I need to now chuck the cave into hidden by default, because we're going to enable it when we walk into it. So I also need to put the cave into objects to show. I can use this in the future. If I like render out a lot of the island, for example, I can then have, I don't know, like a box collider around it, and when you hit the collider, it changes into the full thing. I mean, it would look a little janky, but it would work, and it would save resources if I had to. The world is done, and so I'm going to show you around it now. But as you can tell, it looks a little weird, but that's on purpose, as if I walk out, it comes back to normal. So that is a LOD loading in to give you more frames. Well, that breaks that AI. We'll have to ignore that. I've still got to fix that, I guess. So this is the campsite now. We got some trees going on. We got some tents. Over here we got the pool table, same pool table as it was the other day. Just now with a bit of extra lighting that makes it kind of pop out a bit more. It's the swords. That one keeps falling through. I've got to reposition it, but other than that it's fine. And they do still have collision. The shield is the wrong way. It's just small minor things that I have to update, but other than that, it's perfectly fine. Over here, we have the portal to that island that changes to a high quality version when you get close. That one now turns back to low quality to give you frames again. It is in fact public if you wanted to check it out. Other than that, that's kind of it. You guys need to stop bugging out.